Welcome back to Confront Your Mind. I'm Jolynn,
I'm Tiffany. Join us as we talk about how to confront the uncomfortable in life,
while also allowing space for laughter as we learn. Welcome back.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos from us.
Yeah, and like and comment on this video if
Yeah,
you're
do that
listening. We want to know what your thoughts are, what you think about Confront Your Mind, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I
love when people comment.
Me too. It's actually, I love it when people share their stories too, especially with like the topic we're talking about for each episode.
It's so fun seeing like what more than just you and I like think about it, you know?
Like I love our conversations.
Me too, but it just brings more perspective.
Exactly.
And just different examples. So
it's cool. Nice. So today we're going to be talking about security. Tiffany's going to take us,
one of my favorite one of my top values.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, a long time ago when we throw back to when we talked about values and which ones we like the most and care
we should
about
do
the
like
most.
a part 2 on values now that we have the video set up.
Yeah, we
That'd
should do that. Yeah, because I enjoyed doing that. But yeah, so the definition I found is from Maslow. So Maslow's definition of security is a feeling of confidence, safety, and freedom that separates from fear and anxiety, and especially the feeling of satisfying one's needs now and in the future. And I love that it literally says like separates from fear and anxiety. Like that's why security is like such a, it's like the opposite of anxious. It's just like attachment styles, like secure attachment style rather than like an anxious attachment style. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. I didn't notice it until like you read it, and then like separates separates from fear and anxiety, because I guess too like inherently safety and freedom would be the opposites of that.
Yeah,
because you have like that's so cool.
And that's like, it makes so much sense now why that's so important to me.
Yeah,
it's like I don't want any anxiety.
No, thank you.
But and I like how it says too, like the feeling of satisfying your needs now and in the future, because it just kind of goes to show how much we worry about the future and how much we think about the future too, because like that matters as well. It's like even if everything's all good right now, like we're still like but tomorrow, is it gonna be
right? So
I like that it mentioned
AF.
that. I like that it mentioned that.
Right. Well, and that's why I like to say too, like with anxiety and fear, like those are just future based. Period.
It's always a really good reminder because I forget that a lot.
It's all just in the future, and it's just your imagination is what it is. And sometimes they're like founded in like fears that have happened before, and like that's valid. And at the same time, like you cannot predict the future, which is I think the security and like being present. But but there's lots of different types of security. So there's different, I like to call them the realms of security. The realms of security. The Avengers of security.
It does sound like it's like a Marvel movie or something. These are your superheroes.
Financial security.
Oh, that was a good one that you added. I didn't even think about that. Because that has to do with like job security too. And like whether you like talking about the future, that's a big one. Money is like, thinking about what you can do in the future and where you'll be able to live, or what the lifestyle that you are able to have has a lot to do with finances and money.
That's why I included it, because financial security is one that I think affects a lot of people like commonly. Like it's something I know that me and my husband talk about. I know that like I don't know who financial security doesn't affect, because finances is like one of those things that's like an underlying thing that you don't really constantly think about, but it's one of the things that lets you live the life that you want to live. Like that's just literally the truth of it.
I know. Me and my husband always talk about it, because it's like it's not even like, even if you don't care about like material things and like money and stuff like that, like it's like but can't trips like like going on like traveling takes money, and like eating well, like eating healthy. Like I would love to buy all of my food at the farmer's market, and guess what, that takes money.
Eating is money.
And it's
Showering.
like if you want to have a good gym membership, like even things that you would do to like be healthy and take care of yourself, like a lot of it, like I'm not saying, I mean you can definitely do a lot without money, but it's like it makes it so much easier to live whatever lifestyle you want if you have money. So it's like even I don't know, that's just something that I get like stressed about.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about getting massages and how I would like to include those in my weekly budget, but
Yeah,
but
that would be
financial
nice.
security that's not where I'm at financially right now. So weekly massages is not in the budget.
Weekly's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, but how that would feel so nice.
That would be really nice.
Once a week getting a massage. Ah. Oh, to be rich.
But yeah, so that's financial security. But some other ones are obviously physical security and safety. And being comfortable and like what your physical surroundings are. And whether you're physically safe, like your literal protection of yourself.
Yeah, definitely. And even to like the ability to protect yourself within your own body.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if like, that's just something I thought of too, is like that physical.
It's a hard word.
Oh my gosh. The physical security in like your physical body is like being able to like, I don't know, I just have like, I want to be physically secure in like the fact that if somebody came in and tried to like attack me, I'd be able to be like, get off. Please don't attack me, because that was like probably the least convincing.
I was gonna say it doesn't seem like it's very secure.
It's not giving secure. It's giving will be kidnapped.
Kidnapped as a
get off.
I don't know if you want me to say your age, but
yeah. I mean, I had a client the other day told me I looked like a high school student, so I mean, I don't know.
It's giving kidnapped.
It's giving kidnapped.
So it is.
It's giving adult napped.
That's so funny. But yeah, and then also emotional security and like being emotionally stable is a really important one that that's one of the main ones that I whenever I think about the value of security, I think about like emotional security and whether I feel like secure as a person. And I'm not really normally thinking like the other ones we've mentioned. I'm normally thinking like emotional and like secure in myself and secure in my like relationships, which was like a whole nother one, like relational security. Because those things are more so things that I like regularly think about.
Yeah.
Like on a day-to-day basis, like, am I secure in kind of like we talked about in the last podcast about like self-love, like it's like feeling like secure with yourself, but then also like feeling secure with like other people and the people that you're close to. And like, if you're married or in a relationship, that person or just your friends, like secure in your friendships or secure with your family relationships or things like that. So I think that's something that's really important as far as like feeling secure, and something that I tend to, obsess over a little bit.
Yeah. I was just thinking, it's really cold in here. You were right. I'm super cold.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I do not feel secure right now.
Your knee is probably.
My knee is just.
It's cold. Probably.
Yeah. My knees are out today, or one of them. Well, I guess 1.5. Because I'm wearing patchy jeans or patchy overalls. But yeah, I like that you said that too, because I think emotional security and stability is like one that we can obsess over a lot. And that's one I obsess over too, is like, are my emotions good? Am I emotionally stable? Like, am I doing good? Like constantly checking, and it's just, it's a lot. And so, which defeats the purpose of security, is like just to be, and I think security and confidence goes hand in hand, is like being sure of yourself. Yeah. Maybe even certainty too. Like, let's throw all the values in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It is. It's like something that you have to, sometimes I feel like you have to realize that it's like to work on one quality or value, like you have to pull from another one sometimes.
Absolutely.
Because that's the way I feel about security, is like it's hard to say like, okay, well, like, if we said like, okay, how can I feel more secure? It's like hard to answer that question, I feel like, because it comes I feel like security is more of like a secondary one. Like it comes along with, once if you feel more confident, you'll feel more secure, and if you feel more certain, you'll feel more secure. But it's like on its own, it's difficult to say like how like how you would feel more secure.
Right. And I think like security varies for everybody too. Like, you know, what makes me feel secure is going to be different than what makes you feel secure.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that's like, well, it's just kind of the whole point of values, but it's like, I also think it goes to show too, like, you know, like there are some people that like have less than I do and feel more secure than I am, and there's people that have more than I do and feel like less secure than I do.
Well, that's why like whenever we talked about like or whenever I talked about it being one of my top values or whatever, and like, you know, that's why I liked whenever we did the little values quiz and stuff, because it's like it's so interesting how like we value different things. Like we all value such different things and they hold different priority in our lives. And so, you know, some people don't require as much security, I guess is like the way I would say it. Like I don't know if that's necessarily true, but it's like some people are okay with like feeling a little less secure, whereas some people are like, no, I need to be like 100% like secure, you know. And I feel like I lean more that way.
Yeah, same. I think I'm like definitely, especially I think as we grow older, we lean more into security than like, I think
that's true.
Your husband said this one time. It's like the older we get, the the less comfortable we are with being uncomfortable or something like that. I don't know. He said it like one night and I was like, that's
he
so
said that?
Yeah, he was like,
oh,
I was like,
deep.
It was so deep. And I like literally have thought about it all the time since then. I'm like,
I must have missed that.
I was like, that was so profound of him to say. But it was just like, and I don't think I said it the way.
Sometimes he has some hard hitters.
Yeah, sometimes he just drops the bombs and it's just like, okay, Bradley.
But it's like he doesn't even know. Like,
no, I don't think he even knew.
He just like had that thought and was like, I thought I'd share that.
He said, that was good. He probably like doesn't even remember saying that.
No, surely not.
But yeah, I was like, it was just like the more the more we seek out comfort as we grow older is like what along those lines. And I've thought a lot about it because I'm like, that's so true, because like I've noticed as I've even gotten older, and I'm not that old, but like is that even though,
I know he does talk about that. I have heard him say talking about about how as we get older, like we want to be more and more comfortable.
That's I think probably what it was.
I mean, he probably said what you said, but like that's the one that he like regularly like he talks about how like theme. He talks about how like, well, he even talks about like physical, like it's like as the older we get, it's like we were just talking about being cold, but like the older we get, the more that we're like, you know, want to be like physically comfortable, and we're like, you know, like, oh, like I'm gonna need a jacket if I'm gonna go outside. Whereas like if you're like whenever you think about like little kids, like they're you know, I mean, not that they don't need security, but like as far as like physical security, like they're more like reckless, I guess you could say. Like, you know, you have to force a kid to wear a jacket.
There's less caution involved.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good word, caution. Yeah, like I feel like we get more and more cautious as we get older, because we like know more and more things. Like sometimes I don't like knowing more things. I'm like, I wish I didn't know that.
I think that's like why one of my favorite phrases is like ignorance is bliss, because it truly is. Like you're just like life is so great. It's like there's like when you're not aware of like the wars going on and like all this crazy stuff. I'm not gonna be political. That was just a real quick like, you know, awareness thing, is like when you're not aware, like ignorance is truly, you're just like, wow, life is so good, and like I don't have to worry about the fact that like, you know, like stuff's going down in other countries, and you know, like, and it could affect us, and it does affect us, you know. It's like I can't just like be in my little garden all day and just being like, I love tomatoes, I love planting flowers, la 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 la, like that is how I want to be though. But it's not, you can't be like that, I guess. Anyways, how did we get there?
You're like, I guess I can't be like that. You can try though.
I'm trying my best.
But yeah, I think one reason though that it is really important to feel secure is just because of like in the definition when it talks about it being apart from anxiety. Like I do feel that it is a all around, like everybody experiences the fact that like the less secure that you feel, the more anxious you're gonna feel. Like they have a, what's that called, like an inverse relationship.
Yep.
You know what that's called?
I have no idea.
Yeah, like one goes up, the other one goes down, and vice versa.
I'm gonna agree with whatever
I think it's called an inverse relationship.
Okay. I truly don't know. Like, I don't know the word. That's why I'm just like, yeah, go off. Like, this is it.
I just don't want to be saying the opposite.
I mean, I forget we have our computers in front of us.
Inverse relationship. Yeah, it's a statistics term.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's why I didn't know it.
Yeah. Higher values of one tend to be associated with lower values of the other. Yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. Is okay. Yeah, like they literally go like this. Think of a scale.
I can know what a scale looks like.
Whoa, I'm sorry.
Think of a scale.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be like that. It's just like you were looking at me like you didn't get it. So I was like, I need to explain it another way.
No, I got it. I'm
sorry.
Not with you mentally.
Well, anyway, like, so security is on one side of the scale.
And when we put...
But anyway, that's the
balance.
Way that, like, in my head, and after especially seeing the definition, like, that's what I think about is, like, you know, like, being, like, if I have security, so much of it that it puts the scale, like, all the way down, then anxiety is just gonna fly away.
Fly away. Anxiety.
That's such a nice thought.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I loved the visual.
Yeah, I don't know why I needed to like throw my hand up in there like
I
that.
love it. No, movement is great.
I was just picturing it like flying off of a teeter-totter.
Teeter-totter. I don't think that's what that's called. A teeter-totter?
What's it called?
A seesaw. Yeah.
Is that another word for it? I don't think I've said that word like ever in my life. Wait, look it up. Teeter-totter. Look, it's a teeter-totter. That's such a funny word.
What is the difference between a teeter-totter? I'm looking at what's the difference between a teeter-totter and a seesaw. Teeter-totters,
I feel like my mom
are typically longer and narrower than seesaws. While seesaws,
so they're not the same thing.
A shorter board.
That's kind of crazy. Teeter-totters often have a spring mechanism where seesaws rely solely on the children's weight to operate. And the one at Friendship had a spring, so it's a teeter-totter.
What is it? What is it?
What? I'm about to look it up because look, okay.
There's a whole bunch of science to this.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Look at this. See the spring. Look over here, and that's even our colors, our school colors. But look at the spring.
Wow,
that's a teeter-totter, and then this is a seesaw.
Yeah, I'm looking at a literal.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Side by side comparison.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna show her. Well, I'm glad that I wasn't just calling a seesaw a teeter-totter. It's actually a thing, a teeter-totter. That's such a funny name for something. So
teeter-totters are primarily used in the U.S.
Dumb name.
Seesaws are more commonly used in the United Kingdom and other parts of the world. I guess I'm just more worldly. Longer and teeter-totters are longer and narrower.
That is so funny.
Shorter and wider.
What a silly name for something.
That's, yeah. Teeter-totter.
It's funny that I like said it and didn't even think about it. Like how weird. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's just what I've always thought they were called, but I haven't talked about one in a long time.
Right. I like it. Okay. So when security goes down, anxiety goes, whoo!
Off the teeter-totter.
Off the teeter-totter. I think I remember like us trying to throw other kids off of it when we were, or maybe that was just me.
What?
Like when you would do the teeter-totter and you would like go as fast as you could.
Why are you calling it a teeter-totter now?
I don't know.
Trying to be correct.
I'm trying to be a PC Tiffany. But no, whenever you're
So you tried to throw kids off the teeter-totter?
Did you not?
I definitely never did that.
No.
I feel like I was
definitely.
I feel like I was more so like the kid that would be thrown off the teeter-totter.
That's probably why we're friends now.
You know, because like maybe you were throwing me off the teeter totter.
No, I would never do
it wasn't that,
too.
but I just feel like in general, like I was not a very like I feel like you were an intense child.
I definitely was
And
an
I was
intense
not.
child.
Like, I was very
extremely
reserved.
Intense. Yeah, no, I was super intense as a kid. Very intense. I was an intense little lady.
Throwing kids off the freaking teeter totter.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I just thought it was like a competition of like who could like teeter totter or seesaw the hardest. Like, I remember like literally like my butt slamming to the ground and like feeling so much pressure to just back up. I was like, oh, I gotta do it. Yeah. And then they're like, how long have you known you've had anxiety? I don't know. And then I tell stories like that and I'm like, that makes sense. The anxiety to like push off the seesaw as a child, to be like, yeah, yeah. What are we talking about? Security.
I'm sorry.
No, that's funny.
Okay.
Oh.
Anyway, another thing that I wanted to mention.
Go off.
Is your tea good?
Yeah, you want to try it?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Yeah, try it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I don't really like ice in my drinks, but
It's like, I don't usually either, but it's supposed to be like an iced tea is what I'm going
it's
for.
really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's great.
It's green tea, peach green tea with yuzu in it, and then I added honey too.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
But so
I do agree that the less secure we feel, usually the more anxiety we feel.
yes.
And so like that was a good analogy.
Yeah, and so I think that's just the main thing about like working towards feeling secure is good. But the point that I wanted to bring us back to, just like we talked about with our self-love podcast, is like balance, you know?
Yeah.
And so balance with security is good because like I've been saying, like I tend to lean towards like really, you know, not I don't want to say I obsess over it, but like, you know, like I'm really wanting to be secure, and sometimes like you can definitely like go over the top with it, and then it like
that was Ash.
Then it like causes anxiety, you know? And so with a lot of the things we talk about, I feel like it's like if you focus too much on it or like strive for it too much and like focus like too much of your life around it, then it's like it's naturally going to cause anxiety because like you can't, in my opinion, you can't be like fully secure ever.
No, yeah, it's like in the certainty podcast that we did, like it's not possible to be 100% certain, you know, it's not possible to be 100% sure.
Yeah.
It's not possible to be 100% secure because like we can't measure the outcome based on for other people. You know, we can like predict, but even our predictions are not 100% accurate. And you know, I think it's just it's really interesting to think about how security can be so big and important, but also how much of it you really just have to learn how to like let go of it.
And it's like your circle of control or whatever you talk about, because it's like a lot of it is outside. Like I remember thinking at one point in my life, like I was like, could I ever like trust somebody enough to like get married? Because it's such a crazy
concept. Oh my God. That's like part of the reason I had so much anxiety around like my wedding.
Yeah.
Like,
because it's like no matter, even if you like are calculated and smart and like pick somebody who has like the greatest qualities, like, you know, you hear these stories about like, you know, these people that were like amazing and, you know, had this great relationship, and then one of them just like leaves the other one or goes off the like whatever.
Those stories scare the bejesus out of me.
But it's like that type of
I would fall apart.
Right. But it's like, you know, it's kind of like, okay, I don't remember what episode it was, but I remember one time you talked about how like, maybe it probably was the certainty episode, but you I'm getting there.
I'm following.
But you talked about like how like life would be boring and like it makes life beautiful that like we don't know like the outcome of everything. And I feel like that's another really good thing to remember when thinking about security, because like, you know, with like choosing to spend your life with someone or something like that, it's like it's scary because it's like you cannot be 100% certain that like, you know, you're both you know, promising to stay together forever and all that. But it's like, you cannot be 100% certain of anybody if you're being honest. Like, I feel like some people would be like, I'm 100% certain of my husband. And it's like, okay. I mean,
yeah,
he's not a literal angel. So like you know what I mean? Like you're not a celestial being that can't make mistakes.
Right. And like, I think even too, like, you know, you like, it's just, I do like that. Like you can like, I think I almost want to say like security is not real. Like it's just this false idea.
Yeah, I think that does not make me feel very good. But I can see what you're saying though. Like it's I'm sorry, it's just like you told me one of my like top values is like a false idea. I'm like, whoa, that was a lot. But
no, I mean it's real to a certain extent, but it's also like I think a part of like
I think having full security.
Yes, that's a better way to put it.
Is that there we go.
There you go, Tiff.
Like, breathe.
You can have it.
No,
security is real. Breathe in and out.
But no, I think that having like what you're saying though is like having 100% security or like 100% sureness of a person or anything like is not a an attainable like goal.
It's unrealistic.
Yeah.
Like even though like we're both 100% sure. We're both even though we both girlfriend's brain is moving way faster than her mouth right now.
It's all your tea today.
I know. I've had like 3 cups of tea today. But even though like we're both very secure in our marriages, I think it also goes to show like there is a certain level of like I do trust Giannis. I know you trust Bradley, and like correct me if I'm wrong if I'm speaking on something. Actually, Jolene, we need to talk.
No, I do. Yeah,
no. But like I think a part of that security too is like there is like although like I do trust him with my whole heart, like you know there may come a day when man's like experiences something and like says peace out girlfriend like
yeah
you know,
like you just never know
exactly. And although like I don't think that that's gonna happen, I cannot this is what goes into security. I cannot live my life being so concerned for that 1% or like that 0.01%.
And it's like, and that's a good thing to think. I feel like that's comforting to think about too, is just how like, you know, yes, like something may end up happening or like whatever, but it's like to spend 50% of your time thinking about a 1% chance. Like sometimes math is really helpful.
Sometimes math is helpful.
It really is, because like you're sitting here and you're like, okay, like how much time do I spend thinking about like, you know, the possibilities in life, right? Like the possibilities that probably won't happen. And so it's like,
yeah,
say you spent 25% of your time thinking about like, you know, Giannis, you know, not ending up with you or something like that, leaving you, right? Say you spent 25% of your life thinking about that, and then like he never did until the day that you guys died, which is probably what's gonna happen.
Fingers crossed.
Let's get him in here.
Hey, babe.
We can just answer it right now. No, but
he
like,
would be like, what? He'd be like,
like
this is crazy. Literally how like almost all of our conversations around anxiety. I'm like, I'm just so scared you're gonna leave me someday, and he's like, why would I do that? He's like, I love you.
It's like, even though you've done absolutely nothing to show those signs, I just think you might.
Yeah, he's like, okay. Have I done something wrong?
Yeah, because then it's like, well, what can I do to make you not feel that way? You know, yeah.
It's like, but now I need to call my therapist.
But yeah, no, it's like, if you spent 25% of your life thinking about that, and then like, you know, like it never happens, it's like you just wasted so much time. And then it's also something I love thinking about that's really helpful when it comes to security is like, whenever you like worry about something or spend time thinking about it, like it sounds really cliche and stupid, but it's like it doesn't help anything, and it's not like it's not actually going to prevent something from happening.
I love that too. Giannis has told me that too, because he's like literally more than I think 80% or something like that. Oh, I don't know where I'm getting these.
I was gonna say
freaking
that's the second time you've said 80%.
80%.
I'm gonna need you to like cite where you got that information from.
I think it's like 99%. But like exactly what you're saying, like literally worrying does not add anything to your life. Like it brings literally nothing to the table, because either it's going to happen and you deal with it, and worrying does not help you prepare for that, or it doesn't happen.
It just like catastrophizes the event. Like,
yeah, exactly.
If you've been like spending so long like worrying about if this happens, like, because that's something I'm bad about, is like trying to what is it called, being prepared. What am I trying to think
Planning.
about? Yes, planning. Yes, thank
predicting
you.
planning.
Yeah, like it's like I'll spend a lot of time like on like what ifs, because I think it's helpful, because I'm like, okay, when this happens, like this is what I'm gonna do. And like, something that
Right.
my therapist had told me before is like, she's like, it's okay to like think about a specific scenario and think like, okay, like what would I actually do if that happened? But like, you just need to think about it like once and be like, okay, that's my plan,
Right.
But
Yeah.
like to think about it all the time and think about like every possibility in life and like how you would deal with it, it's not going to make it like any better whenever that time comes and you have to like take action. Like it's not going to be like, oh, I'm so glad that I spent 4 hours thinking about this that one day. Now I know exactly what to do.
Yeah. Well,
and it won't be any easier to deal with.
Yeah, it makes me think about, and too, like probably what we're going to talk about in our next podcast is intuition versus intrusion, right? And so intuition is kind of like that soft, like, hey, like everything's going to be okay, or intuition is like that first thought. It's like, oh, I don't need to, like, that's going to happen in like a week, I don't need to worry about it. Whereas intrusion is like all those like what ifs, right? And so it's like also letting yourself learn the difference so that you can be secure in that first thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like that's why it's so important to, which is like a little watch our next episode on intrusion versus intuition.
Yeah, that one's gonna be exciting. I'm glad about that.
That'll be good. And then yeah, I think we're just like, I think security is about finding that balance, like Tiffany said.
Yeah, just I think too, like just learning, kind of like, I feel like we talk about our focus a lot, like where you place your focus and like what you choose to spend your time like thinking about is so important, because it's, that's what you can sit there like thinking and thinking and thinking and overthinking times a million, or you can, like settle your mind and, whatever helps you to do that. But like, but yeah, I actually, even though I didn't like what you said at first, like I really do like what you said though about like how like 100% security is like a false narrative. Like it's like it's not attainable, it's not possible, and like kind of like you said a while ago, it's like whenever, like it's actually calming to realize what's out of your control, even though it seems like it would like provoke more anxiety or stress. It's like it can actually be comforting, because like that like there's nothing you can even do about it. It's like that same idea about security. It's like, well, I would love to be 100% secure, but that's not possible. So why don't I just go ahead and like let that idea go, and become comfortable and like focus on what I am secure in.
Yeah.
And that's what I've kind of tried to do.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to do it, because I think no matter who you are, no matter where you are, you're going to face security, and it's going to look different for you. But I think one of the most important parts of security is being secure in yourself, and like, being secure in like, like being secure, like you said, going back to those like 4 realms of security, being secure in like the relationship you have with yourself, and being confident in not only like being confident in yourself, but also being secure in the relationship you have with yourself and feeling good about yourself, like having a lot of self-love, self-respect. Also being secure in your ability to pick people to have relationships with.
Yeah. Like security in your choices.
Exactly.
That's a really good one too.
Yeah. And like, that's why I think it's one of the most important parts of security is like having that security in yourself. Kind of like we said with certainty, is being certain of you and being certain of yourself. And then also like going into the realm of emotional security, like feeling secure in your ability to emotionally regulate, feeling comfortable in your ability to regulate yourself. Same with physical security, like being like, that's why I brought in my body to it. Like, even though like I sounded like a little weak lady, I was like, get off. But like, I think too, it's really that important piece of like, I want a big part of the reason I have been working out, and I've like, I made it my goal for 2024 to like be more active, was because I want to feel secure in myself. Like, not that I think somebody's going to like come and attack me, but like I feel good when I'm physically fit and like physically active, but I also like want to feel secure. Like if like something happened, like anything that could happen, like I just want to feel good in my body. I want to feel like I'm strong. I want to feel like I can like lift things up. Mainly the reason was I was having a lot of trouble lifting groceries into the house. And I was like, how did I become so weak? Like, what? And like, I don't want to feel like that. I want to feel strong. Like, I want to be capable and I want to feel secure in my body. Like, I want to feel secure in my body.
Yeah.
I want to feel like I'm giving my body the like stuff it needs to be able to like fight off infection, because we're going to get sick. We're going to have days where we're weak and like, you know. And then the other realm would have been the financial security. And so like also being sure of myself and like being secure in like what I'm bringing to the table financially and what my financial earnings are, and like being able to provide a part of my income with my husband, whether that be, and like for some people that's not possible, but also like having financial security and like the like what you do have control over or influence over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's what brings, I think, finding balance in like what is in your control, like you said.
And just like recognizing, I think if you're like struggling with feeling secure in any of those realms, I think like making I just think lists are really helpful, but you know, like either talking through it with somebody if you're more of like a verbal like external processor, or if you're more internal. That's right.
I'm such a huge me. Me.
I was like, do you have a question? But yeah, or if you're more internal, like, you know, like writing it down and like making a list, but like just like recognizing, like bringing recognition to what you do feel secure about, and like that will just make you feel more secure, you know. It's like shifting that focus to like, instead of focusing so much on things that like you're not secure about, then, you know, bring that focus a little bit more towards like, I am secure about these things. And then if there's things that you can do to improve your security and other things, like then do them. Like obviously it can be improved, but it's something that you don't want to like obsess over things that you have no control over, which is where like the circles of control comes into so much help.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
And remember that we're all learning.
And don't be afraid to get confrontational this week.
Keep it cute until we meet again. Cheers.